At exactly 2:17 in the morning, the most protected route in the Mafia Queen's empire suddenly stopped moving. Across the city, Marcus Kane was already awake. But what Marcus didn't know was that Arielle Voss had already seen the trap. Marcus Kane had just made his first move against the Mafia Queen, and in less than 5 minutes, the entire city would feel it. If you love cinematic crime stories like this, subscribe, because this only gets started. The room stayed quiet. No one laughed, no one argued, because the truth had already landed. The Mafia boss was a woman, Arielle Voss. She sat calmly at the head of the table, hands folded, eyes steady. Across from her, Victor exhaled slowly. "So it's true." Arielle didn't respond. She didn't explain. She simply watched the room. And somehow, that silence carried authority. But while the men in that room were still processing the truth, someone else in the city had already heard the news. High above the city, Marcus Kane stood beside a window overlooking the skyline. The city lights flickered below. A man behind him spoke carefully. "It's confirmed." Marcus didn't turn. "The boss of the Voss organization is a woman." Marcus smiled faintly, not mocking, not impressed, just thoughtful. "Well," he said quietly, "that's unexpected." The man behind him shifted. "Should we move?" Marcus looked out across the city. "Not yet." Back in the lounge, the tension hadn't disappeared. One man leaned forward. "You kept this hidden for years." Arielle nodded once. "Yes." Another voice followed. "And now we're supposed to trust you?" Arielle's expression didn't change. "You already did." Silence returned, because she was right. For years, they had followed her orders. They just hadn't known her name. Victor leaned forward. "There will be challenges." Arielle stood slowly. "That's expected." She walked toward the end of the table. "But there's only one challenge that matters." The room waited. Marcus Kane. The name made several men shift. Victor frowned. "You think he'll move?" Arielle's voice remained calm. "He already has." Across the city, Marcus Kane closed a folder on his desk. Inside were photographs. Arielle Voss. He studied them carefully, then said quietly, "So the Mafia boss is a queen." He leaned back slowly. "Let's see how long she keeps the throne." 2 nights later, something unusual happened. One of Arielle Voss's shipping routes stopped moving. No warning, no explanation, just silence. Inside the operations room, Victor stared at the report. "This route never stops." Arielle looked at the screen calmly. "Yes." Victor turned toward her. "You think this is Kane?" Arielle nodded once. "It's the beginning." Across the city, Marcus Kane sat inside a quiet restaurant, wine glass in hand, relaxed, patient. A man across from him spoke nervously. "The route is blocked." Marcus nodded. "Good. You're sure she'll respond?" Marcus looked toward the city lights. "She has to." He took a slow sip of wine. "And when she does, we'll see how smart the Mafia Queen really is." Marcus Kane thought he had set the trap, but the next move belonged to Arielle. Back at headquarters, Victor paced the room. "This is a challenge. Arielle shook her head. No. She stood and walked toward the window. This is a test. Victor frowned. So, what do we do? Arielle looked out at the city lights. Exactly what Marcus expects. He looked confused. You're walking into the trap? Arielle smiled slightly. Not quite. Later that night, Marcus received a message. Arielle had responded, exactly as expected. Marcus leaned back. Perfect. But seconds later, another message appeared. His expression changed, because the route he blocked wasn't real. It was a decoy. Marcus slowly smiled. Well, now this is interesting. Across the city, Arielle Voss stood quietly in her office, watching the glowing skyline. Victor spoke carefully. You knew he was watching. Arielle nodded. Yes. And now? She turned toward him. Now, the real game begins.